Okay, cool. Let me just check that. No, it's not cancelled, Soren. We are here. I think we are good if everybody wants to just say something before I give the intro.
Hello,
Yo,
hello.
Hello.
can you hear me?
Yes, I think we are good. I think we are good. Okay, cool. So, what's good, people? My name is Benjy, and welcome back to the Peer Pressure Podcast, weekly live show covering all of the essential topics ahead of Gameweek 12. I'm joined by my two co-hosts. First, with our Chelsea regular stock. How are you, bro?
I'm good. I've actually really enjoyed this international break because shout out Greyhead, I've been playing the traitors with other uh, guys from the FPL scene and it's been a blast. And I've not honestly thought about FPL at all, so I'm looking forward to this podcast.
Cool. Our other co-host is the infamous Red Devil. It's FPL Kayman. How are you, bro? Ready for hectic Christmas?
Yo, yes, bro, I'm ready, bro. There's a lot to talk about. There's so many flags going, yellow flag, red flags. We've got a lot to talk about. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
there's a hell of a lot on the agenda today, including Gabriel Replacements, Liverpool Picks, Wildcards, free hit strategies. This also looks to be the most split captaincy week we've had in FPL so far. It's going to be a huge week, and that sort of week requires a peer of the same magnitude. So I'm very excited to introduce one of fantasy football's elite with two top 5K finishes to his name, including reaching second in the world at one point. Let's welcome Tottenham fan FPL Chai. How are you today, man?
All good. Elite is a bit too high up for me. I wouldn't give myself that title, but thank you for having me on. I'm looking forward to it.
Sweet. And just a reminder that if you haven't already subscribed to Kayman and Chai on YouTube, then please make sure to do so. You can find both of the links to both of their channels in the video description. You also find Stock's Twitter there as well. You go drop him a follow. And as always, if you're craving more insight, more content from us, then go get access to the exclusive Peer Pressure Plus Patreon, where we're offering custom team advice, weekly dilemma calls, private captaincy content from me for our Patreon members only. If you've played FPL for a while, you'll know this Christmas period is the busiest part of the season. It's the perfect time to sign up just before the holidays. Maybe you're traveling, you're busy with your families, you don't have time to cook up your teams. This is where you can lean on us to assist you. Check it out. It's the very first link in the video description. And what we're going to do is we're going to start off with a little brief look at our spacing schedule. And this is something that we're going to be looking at a lot throughout Christmas before we head into fixture congested territory. And I'll start with Crystal Palace, who have the busiest schedule by far. And I'll come to Chai on this because you are doubled up on Crystal Palace at the moment. Are you concerned with the lack of spacing, good spacing with Crystal Palace assets? Are you maybe concerned about rotation, injury crisis, or maybe a significant drop off in their performances?
I would say absolutely from a rotation standpoint, but not right now. Again, I think later down the line, probably. I've got Richards, which I'm not too worried about. I think at 4.5 million, I'm more than comfortable for him to miss a game or two, to be honest. I mean, he's played every single minute, I think, possible for Palace so far this season. Sarah, on the other hand, who was heading away in game week 16, not too pushed, to be honest. Again, another great value player. It's not like I'm spending 8 million on an asset for Palace. So I'm not personally too worried. Again, I do expect them. I think it's because I know or I will be expecting them to miss at least one. I don't have too many worries. But from a performance standpoint, they definitely will drop off a small bit. I mean, I'd be very, very surprised if they can keep it up with that fixture congestion. And they're not used to playing this amount of magnitude of games. So it'd be interesting to see what happens with Ollie Glasner's Palace.
Yeah, 100%. A few other key points before we head to Stock and Chelsea. Make sure you're careful with the Europa League guys, Aston Villa, Forest. As you can see with Villa, I mean, Lindelof injured, Konza picked up a knock, although I think he's going to be fine. They've got Mings out for 7 weeks. You're starting to see the Europa League teams pick up more and more injuries, especially as we start to head to Christmas. So just be careful with investment there, and I wouldn't be buying any of their picks. But let's come to Stock here, who has seemed to have quite a good read on Maresca's rotation pattern so far. He called the Reece James benching last week. And I wanted to ask, how nailed do you think the likes of like an Enzo Fernandez, a JP, how nailed are these guys as we start to close into Christmas? And what competition do you think is like the priority for Maresca?
The Champions League is quite different now that they've got like the league table format because as we saw last year, PSG when they won it, I don't even think they automatically qualified. I think they had to play a playoff game. Was it not against Man City?
Yeah.
Or am I completely wrong? But I don't. I think it's very fixture dependent, as we've seen against Barcelona. There's zero doubt in my mind that Maresca will play his strongest team if everyone's fit. But I do think he will play a strong team against Burnley as well, coming back from the international break. With regards to Enzo, in my opinion, I thought his performance before the international break was phenomenal. I thought that was one of his best performances in the Chelsea shirt. He just orchestrated the whole game. I just think it was a precaution to manage, to just give him 2 weeks off to recover and give him a better fighting chance of playing many games as possible throughout this busy schedule. I'd be shocked if Enzo doesn't start the Burnley game.
And in terms of what like leads and stuff, do you think that guys like JP and Enzo are good holds, would you say? Like for 14 starting in the midweek fixtures, how concerned are you about their minutes? Because I know a lot of people have them.
And I know Palmer has a bit of an impact, and then obviously Esteval does as well because of just how good he is, and he can also play in the 10. Neto's definitely first choice under Maresca at the moment. He rates him a lot. I think if Esteval was to play right wing, I think Neto even has a chance of being pushed onto the left. That's how much he likes him. So if Palmer's back and Delap's fit, then JP's minutes definitely will be managed and he'll definitely be rotated, in my opinion, because Delap is a striker. JP can also play there. So if Palmer's fit and Palmer's in the 10, JP and Delap are competing for striker, in my opinion. So there's definitely competition, and with competition, if you have one poor game, you're susceptible to being benched, and that's just how it is in FPL.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Kayman, let's come to Man United. Obviously, we have some of the best spacing in December, January through the Christmas period with 3 Monday night kickoffs and a Friday night kickoff on Boxing Day. Would you consider maybe even doubling up on the attack just because of how good our spacing is, or do you still think it's too much risk in trusting that Man United team?
I think it depends. I think there is a give and a take, right? If you're doubling up on United mids, which I believe that's the only options you can double up on, you have the likes of Bruno Fernandes, the notable one, as well as Mbemo template pick, and Cunha was emerged as a pick now with increased minutes of Sheshko being injured. My only concern would be the system that Amarin plays. It is suited for a striker. You do need a striker to basically be able to work that system where the wing backs, make the runs and play off the striker. And the way he likes to play with our new keeper is long balls. Now, with Cunha, we can't really do that. We'll probably have to play from the back. We're going to rely on Bruno to play and make those long balls and try to progress the ball from the midfield. But again, playing two midfielders and progressing the ball is also difficult. You need good ball playing centre backs in order to be able to progress the ball and get to your attackers, the likes of Mbemo and Cunha, to make an impact. I think our attack could suffer in some sense, but the fixtures are good. Especially this week is a good entry point, and even in 14 is a very good entry point as well. And we're the only team, I think, or we're one of the few decent teams or good teams, I'd say, that with a really good attack that don't have Europe. When you're looking at these beautiful graphic that Benjy has, there's lots of teams, the likes of Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal. They all have a lot of red ticks there, meaning that they have short turnaround with 2 days or 3 days. Whereas United is all green, practically 6, 7, 8 days rest, right? So I do see the appeal in it. It's just that what are you gonna give up for it? So if you go for a Bruno and a Mbemo, or a Bruno and a Cunha, whichever combination, that means you're gonna miss out on a Liverpool mid, or you're gonna miss out on a Arsenal mid. Like, you're sacrificing something, or a Chelsea mid. If it depends on which one you're willing to sacrifice. Um, for my team specifically, I will have to sacrifice the way it's structured at the moment because of the formation I'm playing. And then 3-4-3, I have to sacrifice Liverpool mid. That's not something I'm comfortable yet doing.
Yeah.
So again, it depends on the formation. If I'm playing 5 midfielders, I can see the appeal in it. But if you're playing 4 midfielders, I'll probably say I'm slightly against it.
Cool. And just finally, quickly on Tottenham, Chai, is it time to finally sell your Tottenham guys? If you've got a Van de Ven, a Paro, a Kudus, you got Arsenal away, PSG away. Now, the next round of the Champions League, you're one of the only teams to have a home fixture. But then again, your fixtures, I don't know if they are that great in the next sort of 6-7 block. Do you think it's time to hop off?
Yeah, no, not great talking about Tottenham, to be honest. We go into North London Derby on Sunday. at the Emirates, where we haven't won 15 years since 2010, I think it is. No Harry Kane, no Son, two players who love a North London derby, and again a discombobulated team. Kudus just back from injury, I believe he's just about back in training. To be honest, at this point, if you still have some of the Spurs boys, assuming it's Van de Ven because he's done well, I just wonder, is there a case for just holding on to him again? He's cheap enough, especially if you got him for quite cheap. If it was Pedro Porro, I'd be moving him on for sure. Other than that, Xavi Simons, if you somehow own him, I probably wouldn't hold on to him. Again, the fixture congestion is ridiculous, and this is going to be a rough span of games for Tottenham.
Yeah, you have a lot of injuries already. Let's move to Gabriel Replacements. Obviously, the most expensive defender. Been confirmed out for a minimum 1 month, potentially longer. Let's see what Arteta says in the full update in the next 48 hours. But it's pretty clear he is a definite sell. We'll start with Chai because Chai's actually the only one out of all four of us to not own him. Are you happy about the injury? And if you did own him, who would be your favorite replacement?
Yeah, it's funny because I seem to be the only one that is an engaged manager that doesn't own Gabriel. No, I'd never be happy about an injury, I'll be honest, because I don't own him for a reason. And again, it's nothing to do with Gabriel. I actually think he's a great asset for sure. Now I'm actually disappointed that people have the opportunity to go on to Virgil, who I did think was a better. I spoke on Scout how I thought he was a better option in this next 5, 6, 7 games, with DEFCON being a thing, of course. Now Gabriel is decent at DEFCON also, but I feel like at that price point, Virgil is 0.7 cheaper now. It is justified to go to a Virgil, and I'd be more than happy to do it if I own Gabriel.
Yeah, makes sense. Stock, we've talked a little bit off air about Gabriel, and you seem pretty interested in Van Dijk. We're going to come to the Liverpool picks next, but is that just the easy replacement for you? Not interested in a Palace or anything?
I am interested in the Palace, but I only actually I have Porro and I have Gabriel. So my original plan was to go Porro to Van Dijk. Now Gabriel's injured, I'm going to be stuck with Porro again. And it's like the fixture after that is Fulham at home, I think, so I can't even sell him then either. But for me, Gabriel to Van Dijk, I think is quite straightforward with the fixtures and at the price point. I just wouldn't overthink it, in my opinion. And for the record, I think Lacroix / Guehi and even Richards, I think they're all better value for money than Munoz.
Really? Why is that?
The addition of long throws. Crystal Palace have actually scored 3 goals this season from long throws, and they've actually had 20 shots as a result from long throws this season. So it's clearly working. It's clearly something they're not going to change, especially with Lerma playing. He's the one who launches it in the box. And I just think the centre-backs, because of now the threat and the effectiveness of long throws, you could argue that Lacroix and Guehi are getting in more dangerous positions than Munoz. Because they're so in the box, the flick-ons, at any given time they could score, and they're also better for DEFCON, and they're cheaper. Like, Lacroix doesn't have any international break duty, he doesn't play for France, whereas Munoz plays for Colombia. I know there's no IB anymore, so that kind of's out the window, but I just think there's a lot more going for the centre-backs this season, especially because they're cheaper. And now the threat, like, you would argue Munoz has more threat, but now I'd say it's not as big anymore because of the long throws.
Interesting. Kayman, you are somebody who owns Gabriel like me, but as a United fan, I'm sure you're a bit more hesitant on Van Dijk than probably the regular Joe playing FPL. Who, in your mind, is your kind of top 2, top 3 candidates for the replacement?
Van Dijk. I don't know why you have to put the United fan in there. That didn't have anything to do with what my thoughts are on Van Dijk. I mean, if you look at the stats, I mean, they're bottom 5 for XGC this season, right? I know people are going to say that they had tough fixtures, but they did play. I mean, they did have, I would say, yes, they agreed tough fixtures, but then they're not exactly tough. Like for Liverpool, a team that we expect them to win the league. And so someone would make an argument that Arsenal had the toughest of the run out of any top 6 club to start the season, right? And they've kept more clean sheets and the best defense in the league, without a doubt. So I think people are being too nice there in terms of, and I would say they're underselling on how poor they have been defensively and the mistakes that Konate is making, regardless who you're playing at this club, at this level in Premier League, whether it's Burnley or even Sunderland, they will punish you.
Yeah.
The man is literally playing for the opposition these days, and they don't have an alternative for Konate. Genuinely don't. So if you got balls or mistakes in Konate 1 or 2 every other game week, and you have a Robertson, I'm sorry, in December period, he's not going to be able to cope with 2-3 games. He's not. So you're going to have to play Kirkers one of these games. And with Kirkers, all it takes is one long ball, and then you beat your man. So I am extremely worried about the defense. But fixtures are king for a reason. So if you go based off specifically just fixtures and ignore the rest of the context, whether it be data, eye test, all of that, then fair enough. I think Van Dijk is the play. But if you take everything into consideration, I think I would have a Palace defender ahead of a Liverpool defender, objectively
Can I,
speaking. So whether
can I
it
come
be,
in? Can I come in
yeah,
here
go on.
actually? I think
Yeah.
you raised, before we go on, you raised a very valid point. So I was looking at the statistics, and Burnley are miles bottom for XGC. Like, they've conceded 24 XGC. Second worst defense is 16.9. That's almost like 7 XGC difference between the second worst defense. So they're miles the worst defense in the league, and they've conceded 34 big chances in the league. To put that into perspective, Liverpool have conceded 29 big chances. So to only concede 5 less big chances than the worst defense in the league is quite worrying. So it is definitely something that I think is valid that you brought up there. The
Yeah.
defenses look shaky.
Yeah.
What I would say is that
Um.
over the first 11 though, Kayman, I read an article by Opta yesterday. They had the two top teams with the toughest fixtures across the first 11. Liverpool toughest, then Palace. So, and to be honest, if you look at it, Newcastle away, Palace away, Brentford away, Chelsea away, Arsenal at home, they have had tough fixtures. So I do think that comes into it, but there's no excuse for 3 points in 18. I'm sorry, that's relegation stuff. There's no
Yeah, I think
excuse.
yeah, by virtue of how they play as well, I do get what you're saying, Cayman, about how it's they should be doing better from a numbers perspective. But I look at who started for them, and the likes of even Frimpong getting injured early. You have the likes of Kirkes, who's just not found his feet. What's his name? The Italian fella getting injured fairly early. Szoboszlai even playing right back. They've not had McAllister and Gravenberch for large blocks of the season, and it's by virtue of how they play as well. Like in comparison to Arsenal, who we do compare them against, who are by far the best defence in the league. I don't think there's no debate in that. But Arsenal will sit back and absorb against anyone. Now I know that's a narrative that might be a bit lazy, but let's be real. Like Arsenal, they do play behind the ball regardless of who they're playing against.
Yeah.
Liverpool are by far the best attack in the league, in my opinion, and they will go for it no matter who they're playing against. Now, that doesn't mean that they should be given leeway because they've been poor defensively. I just mean it's kind of how they are set up systematically, and I feel like when the fixtures turn for Liverpool, they'll have more of the ball. And we've seen in previous seasons, when they're just on a run and they have the ball. I mean, no one, especially the bottom half teams, they find it hard to score, particularly at Anfield.
Yeah, and if we look at the fixture ticker here, across the next 12 weeks, Liverpool are by far at the top. Like, their fixture runs are genuinely quite ridiculous. Like, it's a lot of good fixtures. If this was a regular season, this was a Klopp team, we'd all be tripled up. Like, there's no doubt about it. So, in terms of Liverpool picks, sorry, go ahead, stop.
Benjy.
Yeah.
Just quickly, just lastly, with regards to Van Dijk, Chai, what is it that what would you say his appeal is? Is it just clean sheets, or would you say it's DEFCON and go for it as well?
Yeah, I would say for me, it's probably like it's definitely the fixtures, right? It's fixtures for sure. He's definitely going to play. I think if you compare him to, for example, Timber at the same price, Timber is going to miss a game or two. I think we can mostly all agree on that. I don't think I can see Virgil van Dijk with the amount of injuries they have missing a game. I think secondly, yeah, aerial presence for sure. Now I know the data for Liverpool in terms of set pieces and aerial duels haven't been great, but we know Van Dijk can come up with goals. We've seen it in the Champions League. He's just not done it in the Prem so far this season. Szoboszlai, of course, has amazing delivery. So I feel like it's a mixture of both, and obviously now averaging really, really high DEFCON. So it's just a mixture of everything, really, and I feel like it's a good opportunity at 5.9. Why not get a piece of that Liverpool attack when they're on a run?
It's just a case could be made that potentially the DEFCON might not be there because the fixtures are easier, but I don't really know how to predict DEFCON in terms of centre backs, because Gabriel's getting it against West Ham, he's getting it against Burnley. Like you said, the play styles are a little bit different. I was just going to lastly ask, are we sleeping on City's defence? Like, if you had to pick between Van Dijk or a City defender, do you think it's as straightforward as just going to Van Dijk?
I think if you would flip the fixtures, if Guardiola played Nottingham Forest and Virgil played Newcastle, I feel like we'd be looking towards Guardiola. You're right. I do feel like there is a case for going for a City defender. It's just hard to choose one. I feel like the only one you'd be comfortable going with is Guardiola.
Nico O'Reilly is definitely like he screams of a Chai pick, Nico O'Reilly.
That's the thing. I don't trust in the minutes with 8 and O'Reilly looming around.
But he goes to AFCON.
Yeah, that is also true.
Yeah, but then again, he does have Ake. He could put Gavardio there, worst case, right? Like, he's got options. I'm just scared Pep will do something. That's why the reason why, for me, I'm looking at Van Dijk, Munoz, or dropping it down to a 4-5. And I think if you do have
Is Alisson back? Is Alisson back?
Yeah,
Sorry.
he's back.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, then I think Van Dijk is an option because that's his bailout.
Bro.
Honestly, Alisson has been saving this man's career. They call him the Premier League GOAT centre back. I think that's like overshadowed by how much Alisson has saved him in the past. Honestly.
Okay,
Well,
what
about
if you're me and you've only got Gabriel? You have no other Arsenal defender.
Oh, 100% I'm getting Arsenal D over Van Dijk. It's not even close.
Really?
Eyes closed, I'm getting Timber. What I was gonna say, what? Yeah, wallah, bro. I will definitely get Arsenal. It's not even close. It's not tough. It's not even close. I would get Timber over Virgil in my sleep.
But like Chai said, Timber's definitely going to probably miss a game in this period.
Okay, yeah. So this is interesting. All right.
Yeah.
Again, I'm sorry. I know we're dragging on now, but with Tottenham and Chelsea, all right, and very a lot of fixture congestion for Arsenal and no Gabriel. How many clean sheets do you see in Tottenham, Chelsea, Brentford, Villa?
I think they'll get it against Tottenham because I think your attack is really poor.
Exactly. So that is the narrative going into this game. The Tottenham attack is really poor, and it absolutely is. I'm a Spurs fan. I'll tell you straight up. But Spurs always, when things are like this, and everyone's creating a narrative, I just always feel like there's a goal in the North London derby. You never know. I feel like this is the one game where you never know, no matter form, like whatever. Saying that, we probably are going to roll over at the Emirates. But anyway.
No, I agree with you, and it is still a derby at the end of the day, but I just look at their home games, like, I think it's Tottenham, Brentford, Wolves, Brighton, Villa. Everton, they have Everton during AFCON as well, so no and dry. Villa away is, I think Chelsea score, I think there's still cleans in, and I think the level of Hincapi and Mosquera is being underestimated by a lot of people, to be honest. But yeah, that's just me.
But think about it, Chai. It's the fact that you're taking on. Like a lot of people are doubled up on Arsenal D, right? Even if the Gabriel injury, I think people are still going to be choosing Arsenal D over Liverpool defense. So if you're going up against a double EO, at least cover yourself to some extent with a Timber or a Saliba if you want a boring pick, right? Because that way, when Arsenal do inevitably keep clean sheets, just like how Haaland scores every other week, Arsenal can easily keep clean sheets. So at least you're covered in that sense. And I don't like to play FPL like that, but sometimes you are forced to play like that when they're so good. Like it's like I've admitted defeat to Haaland in terms of captaincy. Now I have to admit that Arsenal are gonna keep clean sheets. Like at least every every 1 or 2 games. Like
for sure.
No, I hear it.
Let's move on to the Liverpool picks. We talked about Van Dijk. I think he's a standout defensively, but midfielders I think is the interesting point. Chai is one of probably the only content creators on Mohamed Salah at the moment. Talk to me, Chai. What was the appeal when you wildcarded? I think it was Gameweek 8, was it? And brought him in. What was the appeal for you, and how confident are you that he will do the business in your team?
Yeah, like there's no doubt that there's been a drop off first off with Salah. Like I'm not blinded by that, and again I've watched a lot of Liverpool so far this season. But I think again it's a narrative that's being spun because maybe one, he plays for Liverpool, two, he was so good last season that the expectations that he set for himself are so high. Again, a fixture play in game week 8, I looked at the fixture and I was going, if I can take an opportunity here to have both Haaland and Salah, well, no one has them, I'm going to absolutely go for it. I don't think suddenly Salah has lost his legs, and it's not like he got a big injury, and I always come back to that. He's not just suddenly lost his ability overnight, and we are seeing glimpses in certain games. Now, he's he's been quite wasteful, and overall he's not quite looked at it, but I think in those games with Madrid and Villa, he looked well back on it. Again, not particularly against City, but with this fixture run of Nottingham Forest and West Ham, Sunderland and Leeds, I'm more than happy to hop on him for 5 weeks minimum before getting rid of for AFCON.
Yeah, it makes sense. I'll just move into the captaincy matrix. The only week that Salah's been the best talismanic captain was game week 9. You did captain him in game week 9. You got I think it was like plus 10 over Haaland, which was quite nice. What weeks in the future are you looking to captain? Because I know a lot of people listening are thinking maybe they're wildcarding soon. They're looking at Salah. I personally believe you do need to captain him a few times until he goes AFCON for him to be worth it. So what are the weeks you think you're going to take him on, Haaland on, for sure?
I think 12 and 14, but even with Salah in my team, I don't think it would be set and forget. Like, I would look elsewhere if I had the players, if the fixtures are there. But looking at it on paper, definitely 12 and 14.
12, 14 makes sense. And 16, obviously, if he is still in your team by then, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
I guess the only premiums that are in and around right now that maybe you're a little bit concerned with is Saka and Bruno, right? Because I think those are your competitors. It's either you have Haaland, Bruno, Saka, or you have Salah, Haaland. So how do you feel about them? Because I don't think they've really done that well.
Exactly. So Bruno is going to tick away nicely, no doubt about it. I don't feel Saka's too highly owned. Again, he got that big haul with the DEFCON last week, I think it was, and the week before he scored a penalty. But overall, I don't think like Arsenal as an attack have been like justifiable for 10 million for Saka. Again, he's just back from injury, finding his feet also. Now, he's looked good, I have to say, and even for England, he's looked very sharp. But again, I'm more than happy to spend the 4 million more on a player who I know is the talismanic figure getting 90 minutes on penalties for Liverpool, who are the best attack in the league.
Is there anybody else that you'd consider stock from Liverpool? We've talked about Salah. We've talked about Verge. Anybody else? Any of the mids?
I own Szoboszlai.
Okay.
I'm happy to own him for these fixtures. I just think he's as nailed gets. If he's in the 10, his DEFCON suffers. But for me, whatever tweaks Slot makes, I think he's got appeal in any position. If he does play right back, he can get DEFCON. If he does play in the pivot, if one of them gets injured, he can get DEFCON. If he plays in the 10, like we saw last season, what was his GA? You know, Benjy, off the top of your head. What was his GA last?
16 FPL GA last year.
16 FPL GA. I mean, you could see about 7 coming in this run. So happy to own him. He's differential, great fixtures, and he's nailed.
Yeah. No, I agree with
fan.
that. And their fixtures are good within AFCON as well. So like, I do see the appeal. Something you guys need to keep in mind is the 4 yellows if you're looking at Sosbo, but I still think he's fully nailed. He's the only midfielder, I believe, apart from Salah, start all 11. Kayman, what's your thoughts on Sosbo? And I think last year you cheaped out with Konate. Are you gonna maybe do that again? That on the cards?
No way, bro. The guy has been absolutely in shambles, bro. There's no way. I think Virgil was an option, of course. I think Sobo has gotten 4 yellow cards. I think if I don't already have him, I'll be a bit more reluctant to go there. I think it's Salah or nobody from the attack at the moment, especially going to the December busy period. So yeah, it will be Salah and Van Dijk for me, bro. Genuinely, those are the only 2 options.
Van Dijk on wildcard.
Here's an interesting question, right? Who do we think takes penalties when Salah goes to AFCON for Liverpool? Isak or McAllister?
Isak for me.
What if Isak's injured?
Yeah, Isak is never fit.
Gakpo's taken a few, no? For Liverpool.
Who?
Gakpo.
I would say McAllister.
I think Mac would probably step up, but yeah.
Is McAllister good for DEFCON?
No, he hasn't been good for DEFCON.
Yeah.
The best DEFCON picks from Liverpool are Szoboszlai, Van Dijk, and Konate. But that's why Van Dijk's actually appealing, because if you look at like the defenders, bro, no other premium defender it has anywhere close to a 55% hit rate in the first 11. So
I think that could be fixtures based though.
it could, exactly. So it's kind of hard for me looking at Van Dijk. Is he really worth it? I don't trust that defense at all. So I would only trust Salah, which is who Chai has, but I can't get there because I got other priorities basically. Okay, cool. I think we've touched enough on pool picks. Let's talk about the midfielders. Now, we did see Semenyo flagged. The Ghana FA said something about an injury, but we all know he's just proposed to his girlfriend. That was a personal issue. He's going to be fine this week. But in terms of if you had I don't know, let's say you have an Eze, I think Chai and Stock have Eze. What's your kind of thoughts on him? Are you looking to sit on him for a few more until Odegaard comes back? What exit you looking at? And I think Cunha should be probably a target for you guys, no?
Go ahead, Kayman.
Or stock, yeah.
For in terms of Eze, I mean, he's still a hold. I mean, why would you sell him? He's a good fixture, Tottenham.
But how long are you
Yeah,
holding him though? Is what I'm saying.
Doctor Tottenham. I don't think you. I think it's like a little folklore, isn't it? Do you sell on any asset before Tottenham? Probably not, right?
No,
Yeah, so
no, I wouldn't. Yeah.
I own Eze, and I am looking to sell him. Now, the only reason I'm looking to sell him is because I have money in the bank. Last week, fortunately, I brought in Elliot Anderson, and of course scored that penalty, which was phenomenal. And that opened the gate for me to do Eze up to someone this week. Now, 1.3 million is exactly the amount of funds to get me to Bruno Fernandes. I could also go to Mbeumo Semenyo or Acuna. And top of my list, if I'm looking at it now, is Mateus Cunha. First off, before I speak about him, I want to hear what you think. Again, I have the option to go to any of them. What do you make of Cunha, first off? Kayman, you sound like you're on the fence when you spoke about United.
No, I'm not on the fence. I think United attackers are the most, to be honest, like most no-brainer, and it was the no-brainer. But I'm a bit concerned about the injury because I think it does force us to play a bit more one-dimensional, which is playing from the back. We can't do long balls, you know. We can't play counter-attacking. It'll be more possession-based, which is probably suits to our fixtures that we're playing. We may have more possession. That's the way, right? I think Cunha is fine. If you're asking me if you're gonna pick him over Mbeumo now, will I pick him over Bruno now? But if he's a second option with a combined with, say for example, you're gonna go with a Bruno and a second mid, then okay, I like it. It's a bit of a differential and you get a bit more spice in that. And then with Mbeumo, he's so highly EO, you're not gonna get much from him anyways. So if you got, as I said earlier, if you're playing 5 midfielders, I don't mind Cunha as well. I assume in a Salah Haaland draft, you do need to squeeze as much funds as possible. So I think that's what you're looking at. Acuna over Mbeumo. I think in that case, I understand a sacrifice, and I do like him over the most mids around that price. Like Foden is not nailed for minutes, Gordon is injured, Gakpo is not nailed. So when you look at that price bracket from 7 to 8 million, there's not that many options that are good for minutes and got good fixtures. That they don't tick many boxes. As the United, I'm a bit pessimistic and I am a bit cautious, but I'm seeing some positive things from us. And even Cunha versus Tottenham, he had chances as well to get something. It seems like Cunha has just been there, but he's not getting the final thing done, that's what the returns has been slow. So I think he will definitely get a lot more chances. He's playing 9, and I think he's a good pick, but not over Bruno and Mbeumo.
Yeah, no, you've absolutely hit the nail on the head. To be honest, I couldn't have said it better. I agree.
Yeah.
Bruno is definitely a better pick than Cunha. Mbeumo, on the other hand, I feel like we're getting carried away. Again, I went Mbeumo in Game Week 4 because I thought he'd outscore Cunha. Again, everyone went Cunha. So now I feel like, I think we're forgetting how good Cunha is. And now that Mbeumo has done it and Cunha got injured, of course, it's easy to look at Mbeumo sitting at 0.6 more and he's after getting all the points. But a lot of managers went there in game week, 4, 5, or 6 towards Cunha for a reason. And I feel like the reason was there. For me, what it comes down to is 0.6 more and going off to AFCON. AFCON is a big thing for me. With Haaland and Salah, I still have my bench boost to set up. So I need those transfers that I'm going to use in game week 15, game week 16. So I want to save as many as possible, even though we have the luxury of many, many more transfers.
Yeah. I'm really hot on Cunha. I'll personally be bringing him in if I don't get any more injuries in 14. I just think that the opportunity is there. I don't really care if he's playing out of position. He's still going to get tons of chances. I expect his underlying stats to improve. The fixtures that we have during AFCON are actually quite good. Like, we have a run of Wolves twice in the space of 6 weeks. We got Leeds, we got Burnley. I mean, he's going to pick up some GA, 100%. And he's also a guy, if you check his monthly historicals, December, November, January, this is a big time for Cunha. He's had a hat-trick against Chelsea around this time. Last season, it was Southampton, it was Fulham, these big whole games. I think this is the time for Cunha. I'll be looking to bring him in if you don't have enough money for Bruno, for sure.
You got the money, it's a no-brainer though.
Yeah.
Bruno's the bit. If you go into this period, like sometimes you don't have to, but if you have Bruno on your team, you don't even ever have to check on him. You just know he's going to play every game. And I'm actually against doubling up on United because with Seshko out and then Mbeumo and Ahmad going to AFCON, I don't think your attack will be great in that run. I think your attack will suffer. So I don't
That's
see
why
the
Cunha
appeal.
becomes the main man.
Yeah, but I'd definitely rather Bruno because if the attack suffers, he can still give you a floor of Defcon.
No, I hear that. Yeah.
That's
Do
my
you see
opinion.
the situation with Portugal, right? When CR7 is playing, no matter what Bruno is doing, no matter what any wingers or midfielders are doing, he will always be the main man. It's a similar thing at United. As long as Bruno is there, he'll be the main man until we get rid of him. I'll be honest with you. So I think I'll disagree with the statement that when Mbimo goes to AFCON and Ahmed goes to AFCON, Acuna will be the main man. I think it will be Bruno actually. And I'm not a big Bruno fan, by the way. I don't know if you know. I'm actually.
You might
Um,
even get pushed. You might even get pushed up in the 10, and Manu might get more minutes. Like you'd never know.
yeah.
That's what
I
I'm
think we will need
expecting.
to because I think we will need to play him into 10 because we will not have enough weapons to do anything versus our position because you're just relying on Cunha to make up something out of nothing. We'll need to support him with creativity, and Bruno has to move further forward. But then you sacrifice the midfield. It's just work. I don't know. I don't know if I want to own any United assets after Ahmad and Mbimo goes.
Well, if we look at
That's
the
another
fixtures, right, like
discussion. Yeah.
17. Now, I did see an article today. Apparently, Man United have asked, I think it's Cameroon, can Mbumo needs to stay for Villa in 17, Villa away, right? So then he would be missing Newcastle, but then we have Wolves, Leeds, and Burnley. These are not fixtures where I'm that concerned about missing Ahmad and Mbumo. I expect the lineup to be exactly like Stock saying. Mainu, Casemiro, Delo right wing back, Bruno, Cunha 10s, and then Sesko as the 9 once he's back fit. That's what I expect. I don't think that team is so bad in these good fixtures. Like Newcastle at home.
We don't even know. We don't even know when he's going to be fit, though, Seshko. It's a knee
Yeah,
injury.
you can't make that statement. Yeah,
It's
you can't make that
they
statement about
said they
Shesko.
basically
That's
said
like
1 month, right? So from this
Minimum, though.
period, no, it's not
It
minimum.
was.
It's
I
not
thought it was minimum, like
No.
1 month.
It's not minimum. They're saying at most, basically, it's a month. But I agree with you. They always do this shit. It could be longer. But even then, his scheduled, if it's a month would mean he's back around 16. And by that time, I feel as though he'll probably be in the team for 19-ish. That's kind of what my
All right.
feeling is.
we could see
enough.
Maino and Cunha in the 10 as well, by the way, and Bruno still being deep. We could still see that. We could see that as well. I think Maino
That's
could
true.
get some minutes, whether it be in 10 or
Yeah.
DM or Cam. So
The final thing I wanted to ask is that there's been loads of rumors. I don't know if you guys have seen. There's loads of rumors about Semenyo in terms of him actually leaving Bournemouth in January. Fabrizio Romano said today on his podcast, it's 60 to 70% for him to leave in January. The other 30-40 is in the summer. Does that actually is that a concern for you guys in terms of where is his head in for Bournemouth for these next fixtures? Because me, Kayman, and Stock, we all own him. Is that a concern, Stock?
Where's he going to be going? That's what. That's for me. Where would he be going?
To
Premier
another
League
Prem
team?
club, yeah.
You say Tottenham, Chai?
Bring him to Tottenham. I wish. 65
a-
million buyout clause.
He's an absolute baller. To be
Nice
fair,
class.
I don't know where he would go. To be fair, like I can't picture a team in the top 6 that needs him in January. So I don't.
Where's he
Liverpool,
What team?
Liverpool.
Sorry.
I say
Liverpool.
Liverpool because Gakpo, I don't know, bro. He's one dimensional. They haven't replaced Diaz, so I would assume that would be their Diaz replacement. So
Yeah, I don't know.
yeah.
Top 6, like January's the window where teams fleece top 6. I just don't see a top 6 team in desperate need of Semenyo to like
Where is
get
it
Villa.
in, man? Genuinely. So there was some interest in the summer. Paul O'Keefe was one of the first to report the buyout clause of 65 million. Then it actually got reported last week that it was confirmed. Look, it is Tottenham and it's January. We don't spend money at all, never mind in January. And there was that period where we didn't sign anyone for ages. So
But Chai,
I'm not saying
isn't that perspective? I mean, we obviously Daniel will leave, he's gone, right? So don't you think
exactly.
maybe there's
That's the point.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's the point I was getting onto. Now that the Enoch family are in charge, I do wonder how ambitious they are with the 100 million pumped into the club. I would love to see it. I mean, if that would be a statement, again, let's see where we are in January. I don't know why Semenyo would want to join us if we're knocked out of Champions League and are sitting mid-table. Do you know what I mean? But I feel like why not come to Tottenham? I feel like we have a lot of big name players. Again, his Ghanaian partner on right wing with Kudus, of course, and Xavi Simons, which is of course a big name. So I want to see. We'll see come January. I think it really depends on what position we're at.
But yeah, all I wanted to say is just watch out for that because there's been a ton of rumors, and when Fabrizio Romano and Ornstein, the top, tier A, when they're coming out and saying this, it is something to think about. Semenyo. We'll quickly touch on forwards. And the talk of the town's going to be Mr. Igor Thiago. 8 goals, Mr. Pen Merchant, 6.3 million, and he is clearing most of the more expensive strikers like Watkins and Bowen and JP. The main question I have, Chai, is probably around structure. Are you a believer in the 3 striker formation, or you think maybe a Haaland plus Thiago is probably the way to go?
Yeah, that's actually mad because it's actually not something I ever look at what formation I'm playing. I always look at the players that I have in place and if there's an opportunity to go to a different type of player. But yeah, no, I do get what you're saying with structure in terms of, you know, fitting in a 6.3 asset if you have 2 strikers, and of course you have lots of funds for the backline or midfield. For me, I feel like he's definitely good, between good and great option. Again, if there was a placeholder between there, because he's on penalties, he's getting great minutes, and he's great value. It really depends on what you want to do. I feel like the likes of Mateta and Haaland are probably still better. So I can see a cause for going for him, but I think particularly if you're going Haaland and Salah, or you want to be a bit greedy and go Saka, Haaland plus Bruno, then there definitely is a place for Thiago. Why not gobble up all the pen takers?
For sure. And the fixtures, if I just read out the home games for Brentford, they are really good. Burnley, Leeds, Bournemouth, Tottenham, Sunderland, Forest over the next 12. Not to mention, around the congested period around Christmas, their only away game is Wolves. And they also got Tottenham in 15. That's in London. So spacing's going to be great. They're not in Europe, and he's clearly the talisman. I think a lot of people are going to be buying this guy. Just takes a few Mateta blanks. Stock, what's your thoughts on Thiago as a non-owner like me?
I'm planning to bring him in when Mateta, when Sarr goes to AFCON and Palace's schedule just becomes really, really bad. I think it's around 15 or 16.
16, yeah.
I'm planning to bring Thiago in around that time because I've got Gu, I've got a dead spot there. So yeah, I'm in a 2 striker formation, and also at that time Cole Palmer, my boy, comes back. So he's definitely someone I always, as a Chelsea fan, I've always got a plan for him. So going from Mateta to Thiago enables me to, you know, bring up a Semenyo to a Palmer. Like, so it's interesting that Chai has and Elliot Anderson. I know it's kind of switching topics, but Elliot Anderson is actually like one of the enigmas in the game, because you can actually make a draft where you have Bruno, Palmer, Saka, and Palmer all in midfield, even without Elliot Anderson. Have you looked at that, Chai?
Yeah, so I'm one who over the international break, when I was planning my team, when I brought him in last game week, was looking at all the different iterations I could have, particularly when Salah goes off the AFCON. Because again, if you have Elliot Anderson in midfield and a dead spot, and you have all the money freed up from Salah, I mean, depending on who's back with Saka and Palmer, like you said, again, it's going to be important. But first off, I heard Harry and Tom talking about it on Scout earlier, about Elliot Anderson, about how he feels about him and whether or not he's a better pick than Xhaka. First off, I think because his floor is 10 DEFCON almost every single game this season so far, he's been so close getting 11 4 or 5 times I think it is now. And potentially in the conversation with penalties, with that comment that Tuchel made about how Morgan Gibbs White should never take a penalty again. I mean, at 5.3 million, he's a great enabler.
I think he's slept on big time. I think he's probably one of the best DEFCON midfielders in the game. I don't think he's hit below double digits this season, has he?
Yeah,
He's hit
exactly.
double digits every game. Yeah, that was an amazing pick. Penalty though, wow. I wish I had that luck. I wish I had that luck.
Absolute jam.
You interested, Kayman, Benjy, and Elliot Anderson, or not? No interest.
Yeah, I am.
No,
I am interested because he also has this really strong set piece share as well. And Deitch historically is known for being quite a good set piece coach attacking wise. I like the minutes, especially for a Europa League team. You need to have nailed minutes if I'm going to consider you in December, Jan. That's certainly what he has. His DEFCON is extremely high. Apart from Caicedo, nobody has better midfield DEFCON numbers than him. I'm interested, certainly. If he has pens, I mean, bro, just give Chai the top 1K finish already, man. it's wrapped, man. If he has pens. But yeah, I'm interested in him for sure. Okay, Kayman, just wanted to ask, you are one of the rare guys in the Haaland, Mateta, Thiago combination. Are you looking to stay in that? And are you a believer of the front three? Because it seems like it.
I've always been a believer in strikers, and it's just not even because what the data was suggesting early in the season. The data was suggesting that it is suboptimal to own three strikers when the midfielders have so many risky points. Even like people were obviously playing five at the back. Even the defenders had more risky points than your strikers, right? So so in that sense, I somewhat ignored that and then played it my way, as Chai would play as way as well. And I kind of ignored it, and it was quite selfishly I did, because I want to watch the games and the assets that I own, and I want to have fun watching them. And if I'm owning a Richard and an Anderson, I wouldn't want to watch those games, respectfully. So I do like to have a bit more attackers, like for example strikers, and they tend to get the most times goals. Of course, midfielders also can score goals too. But yeah, I'm a big fan of strikers, and pretty much all seasons, like in the past as well, I've always had two strikers. So yeah, I tend to land on the good ones after selling a bunch of them. Even this season, most of my transfers were spent on the strikers. I've already went through quite a few of
So
them. So luckily, I think I'm in a good formation now. Yeah.
on Wildcard 12, and I've just made a quick draft because there are a few people, they're planning 13, but because of the injuries, they're going for in 12. On 12, would you go Mateta, Holland, Thiago?
No, no. I mean, actually, 12. That's tough. I haven't looked at the wild card, so do forgive me on that. I mean, it depends on, okay. What would be what would be the midfielder that I'll be sacrificing in this
Foden.
comparison?
Foden.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I'll go for a Thiago or Mateta ahead of Foden, because I know what I'm getting, like minutes, pens, fixtures. So yeah, I think it's a bit more known with the
Mm.
striker, and the Foden doesn't have DEFCON or set pieces. So I think if I had to pick if it's between Foden, Gakpo, and all these like 7 million mids, I'd prefer a Mateta over them for sure.
Cool. And I'm assuming, Chai, if you're on Wildcard this week, you would suggest Salah, Holland.
Yeah, it'd be hard for me not to. Again, in my own video, I spoke about it, how, I can't advise not to go Salah when I have him in my own team. Again, I am a firm Salah believer, but that doesn't mean that other teams with Saka and Bruno can't match it. Not going to say it can't do better either. Of course it can. Again, I just like putting the captaincy elsewhere. I think there's always opportunities with captaincy on a week-to-week basis, and Salah just does it for me.
Yeah. So in my Wildcard 12 draft that I've built, I've gone for Saka, Bruno, and by the way, I think Cunha at his price is like I think maybe you said it a few weeks ago with Eze. Eze's a gift in a Holland Salah draft. I think Cunha is certainly a gift in a Salah Holland draft. I think maybe Stock said that. I can't remember, but yeah, I've gone for the W United mids. I'm a firm believer our attacks there. If you are on Wildcard, go for something like this. Look at the premiums. Get your premiums locked in first. If you're on free hit, yeah, on the right hand side you can see a little draft I whipped up quickly with Semenyo, Senesi. You can play around with that. There's some great fixtures with Chelsea even, but it's just hard with the minutes to back anyone there. Stock, any tips for any wildcarders out there?
Oh, it just feels criminal to not have a Liverpool attacker with those fixtures. That's what I'd say. And my concern would definitely be your double United attack. I think one is enough for sure. And I would definitely be in a two-striker formation with like 5 player midfielders. That would be my opinion.
Makes sense. I just think a lot of speaking to a lot of wildcard 12ers, I think dropping Mateta is a sacrifice not many are willing to make, but I agree with you. I think it's something you need to consider. Get your structure right first. Like I don't think
By the way, there's a super chat, and he's said Gabriel. I think it's Gabriel and Enzo to 4.5 and Mbumo. I wouldn't sell Enzo this week. I think he'll play Burnley, but Gabriel thinks a good move to Lacroix if you don't have a Palace defender.
Yeah.
What's your guys' thoughts?
I'm not a big fan of Lacroix. I own him, and he's just a letdown. I would look at if Guehi's fit, think about Guehi, Richards, or like we said, Van Dijk, right? Yeah, I think that would be for me. What about you, Chai?
Yeah, for me, I don't see. I think if I were to pick one of Richards, Guehi, and Lacroix, I just don't see why you wouldn't go for Richards at 4.5. Again, he's so good at DEFCON. Again, maybe that will change with the spell of fixtures that they have. And if you're not going to go with any of them, and you're not looking at Minoz, I feel like Minoz is a great option. I know you don't like him, Stack, but I feel like for me again, he's everything you want in an FPL, original FPL asset with attacking threat. Again, there's no one more attacking in the league from a defensive point of view than him.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, we're gonna move into my favorite section as always, and that's captaincy. And because obviously we have Chai on, we've got Salah in there, who is at home to Forest. Now he has 2 goals in 3 home starts. And out of all the Champions League options this week, he has the best spacing Saturday, Wednesday. In terms of EO, you can see the big 7 on the right, who's probably going to dictate the majority of EO. And this is why I'm saying it's going to be a very split week. We've got a few on Haaland, got quite a few on Saka, including Praz, Fran. The big 7, that's right. Andy is on Saka as well. So it's going to be interesting. Haaland away to Newcastle, tough fixture on paper, although he does have the 5:30 kickoff on Saturday. Saka, great historicals against Tottenham. Bruno, apart from Leicester, Everton's actually his favourite fixture in the Premier League. He's only blanked once at home to Everton. Mateta's got a good record as well. Semenyo's in there, but ultimately with all the noise around him, he's obviously just gotten engaged as well, and there is doubt around his pen share now. I just think you can't go there. What's your initial thoughts on captaincy, Kayman?
Haaland. I'm burnt. I'm a broken man. I'm done. I'm not gonna fight him anymore. Like, it is what it is. I have my, like, if you were to be brave enough, the good alternative probably will be like Saka's burnt me, Mateta's burnt me. I can't even mention their name. These guys have burnt me. How can I? Okay, Salah. I'll go Salah. Like I said,
Nobody has
I'll go
Salah,
Salah. Good alternative.
unfortunately.
That's the only answer I'm gonna give. I'm not gonna pick Saka or Mateta when they just burned me last week.
This is what I would say though. In a week where I've already shown you, it's going to be more split. Haaland's EO is not going to be 180s. A 150 EO Haaland, people taking the armband off Haaland, giving it to someone else, means you can gain more from him. So that is something to consider. And honestly, if we move to some of the statistics here and look at team strength and some stats, the most interesting stat I have with Newcastle is they're averaging the 3rd highest line in the league, and they've conceded the most fast breaks. And obviously Haaland loves fast breaks. He scored a fast break against United, fast break against Bournemouth. He had one against Villa as well. So that is something to consider. But apart from that, Newcastle have defended very well this season. What I would say is keep in mind, Newcastle haven't been playing a back 4 against Haaland. They've been playing a back 4 against Haaland, not a back 5, which is good for him. But in terms of the best fixture, I would have to say it's probably Wolves, who are bottom for non-pen goals conceded so far. 19th open play XGC, non-pen XGC 18th. Forest, it's a little bit harder to read because of the managerial changes, but they have conceded 3 pens in 11 games. Salah's matchup will be Nico Williams. And even under Sean Dyche in the Prem, they've conceded in every Prem game so far. 2 to Bournemouth, 2 to Man United, and 1 to Leeds. Chai. Salah, this is the week, right?
Yeah, I feel like if you gave any of the big 7, you just plop Salah in their team, I feel like all 7 of them would be on Salah in this particular game week. Again, maybe I could be wrong there, and 3 out of 4 of us here mightn't do the same, but I feel like this is the week for Salah. If you do own him, it's the week that I've been waiting for personally, and I feel like it is a good one for sure. I feel like this game at St. James's Park is always going to be a tough one. I have no doubt Haaland has a high probability of scoring. I don't discredit that, but a brace I can't see. I mean, as good as he's been for Eddie Howe, and I know there are 11 other teams who would have thought the exact same thing, but you're looking at that City team, you're going, how can I stop him? And I feel like I have a small bit of faith in Howe. On the other end, of course, Salah, of course, going to Forest, I feel like I'm confident. I don't feel comfortable captaining anyone else in this particular game week than Salah. And I feel like a lot of managers who are looking elsewhere from Haaland might just default on Haaland because they feel the same.
Stark, what's your thoughts?
My bus team captain is actually Saka, because of his record, and obviously I think he's just a good asset at the Emirates. But he listed off some interesting stats with regards to Newcastle and Haaland, but I don't know what formation Newcastle will play. If Livramento and Lewis Hall are back, might be a back 5. I don't know. So I just think if there's ever a week to go against Haaland, it's James's Park away, right?
Yeah,
But
potentially.
Bruno against Everton's not bad.
So I do have some
Mateta,
stats about. Sorry, go ahead.
Mateta against Wolves. Mateta against Wolves.
The
I don't
only
know.
thing with Mateta is what you said to me a few weeks ago. He's unreliable finisher. He'll miss his big chances, right? Right? Is that somebody
Absolutely.
you want to trust with the armband? I'm not sure.
Not for me.
In terms of Everton, I've got a few stats. Like I was saying, 15th for shots conceded outside the box. Bruno's had the most shots outside the box without a goal yet in the entire league. That's a good thing for Bruno. And Everton defensively away from home, 1 to Sunderland conceded, 2 to City, 2 to Liverpool, 2 to Wolves, and 1 away to Leeds on the opening weekend. I don't think their defense is honestly that good. So, and obviously it's a fixture Bruno has liked previously, but if I see United scoring 2 goals, I'm just not sure Bruno has enough involvement for me to put the armband on him. And I do like Saka, who have against Tottenham, who have made the most defensive errors in the entire league. And Jed Spence, if you think about the matchups he's had against right wingers, I think Ahmad did quite a good job on him. I think Injai did a good job on him as well, and Buendia came on and scored from that side. So I do think it's a decent matchup for Saka. I'm just wondering, Chai, do you think Thomas Frank's the kind of manager that would double up on Saka?
Yeah, so I think it's going to be really interesting going into this Arsenal game, and I'm actually quite excited to see it because Thomas Frank, he's against the big six, he's usually very, 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 very tactical. He's not scared of changing things up. Like I wouldn't be surprised to see a 5 at the back, similar to what we saw in pre-season versus PSG. And to be honest, I'm all for it. I'm big faith in whatever manager that we have. I'm always backing the manager, no matter what the form is. If he's going into this game thinking we need to play a 5 at the back, I'm with him. What I would say is I would still play Destiny Udogie if he's fit and gotten over everything that's been going on. Over Spence at left back again. I think he offers just a bit more, and when he's been playing, he's been very, very good. I have to say. I feel like is the answer. I feel like you have to on Saka. I mean, I think we're going to be quite deep at the Emirates for sure, and Saka's always going to look to cut in. I feel like the double up will come from midfield. One of Bentancur or Perlini running over to him rather than a centre half. I'd be very surprised to see Van de Ven close to him, but. Yeah.
Cool. Ultimately, the one thing that is a little bit concerning with Saka for me is the fact that Gabriel's come out injured. Havertz has had another setback. Gyökeres is not going to be there. It's going to be Marino 9. I understand they have some of their little wingers back, Martinelli, Madueke, but that 9 presence I think would have been important for me. Even though Saka's pen share is now guaranteed, I still just think if you had a Gyökeres there to really take up attention from Romero and Van de Ven, who have been one of the only partnerships to shut down Haaland this season. I think that would have been important. I don't know, Stock, if that is a concern for you, or you still think Marino can do the job?
I think Marino's proved that he can do the job, to be fair. He's quite effective in the air in terms of scoring headers. So, I don't know. Captaincy is a weird one this week, for sure. Like, I'm not locked on anyone, the record. I could change. It's just like Haaland. When the thing with Haaland is that this is why Chai's in such a good position. I envy you. Salah's just a no-brainer. Because when you have Haaland with no Salah, like, this is a week to go against Haaland, and then you look at the alternatives, and you could pick holes in every one of them, and you just get drawn back to Haaland, because why take the risk if you don't have confidence in the alternative?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a big week, and the reason for it, I think, is two things could happen at the end of this week. Well, 3, but let's just talk about the 2. 1, I go into this week and Salah does the business as we expect, and it goes our way, and Haaland blanks, for example. We go into game week 13, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, we're so silly. We don't have Salah. Whatever." I don't know how we didn't have the best attack in the league. Or the other thing happens, I look like a complete idiot going into game week 13, Salah blanks, and Haaland inevitably scores against against Newcastle. And then everyone will be like, yeah, we were right about Salah. So I think this is a massive, massive week, particularly for a captaincy, but also for the FPL community. Reason being, I think people need to be able to throw the armband elsewhere. Again, Haaland has just been that good. Again, like you said, only blanking versus Tottenham. Like, it's been ridiculous.
Yeah. Villa as well, but at home only Tottenham.
Yeah.
So the thing that I like about Salah, you got that extra day over Haaland, which is nice, right? Because PSV are home Wednesday, Haaland Saturday, Tuesday. Every single asset apart from Mateta is having a day or more extra rest on Haaland. That counts for something. You've seen, I think it was I can't remember. It was a few weeks back, but Haaland's output did struggle when it was a 3-day turnaround. So it's something to consider. But 6 days is still really nice for Haaland. I think don't discredit Bruno if you own him, because honestly, Everton's defense has been really poor. It's good historicals. He just scored a hat trick for Portugal. That's the kind of form you're going to need to take on Haaland. And when you're taking on Haaland, you need a guy with ceiling. And that's why I think Chai makes a lot of sense with Salah. Liverpool top goal projections and are around 37% clean sheet odds as well. So it's likely you do have that ceiling. Arsenal as well, with a 46% chance clean in the derby. Kayman, are you concerned by any of the stats with Newcastle's defense? They've been quite solid. 3rd from set pieces, 7th from open play XGC, 3rd for non-pen XGC. You're not concerned by Newcastle's defense?
I'm captaining Haaland is because of the form that he's in. It's not to do with Newcastle defense or anything like that. I think regardless of who they're playing in their back line, Newcastle at their home, the stadium and the energy that will be there, I mean, they're going to be a tough out, regardless of who they play, whether it be Liverpool or City or Arsenal. And historically speaking, all these teams have tough times beating them. I think I'm captaining Haaland out of frustration, out of just being sick and tired of just getting beaten by him. If you have not been beaten by him and you've been captaining him continuously, and this is the week that you want to captain him or go against him, I commend you for it. In terms of where else you can go, I don't trust anyone except Salah, probably, as I said earlier. And if I had to pick one between the rest, I'd say probably Saka again. Yeah, I'll say Saka with 3rd option.
Cool.
And there's not the defensive numbers for Newcastle has been bad, but those are away, by the way, Benjy. I don't know if you noticed the last 3 games they played away, and their away from has, historically speaking, there's always been poor. So
Yeah, yeah, I get what you're saying, and I agree. I don't think they've played high quality teams. We're gonna move into PFC because we've just hit basically an hour. It's the first week where there is a lot of differentiation on the PFC. The guests have taken the lead over Kayman, and FPL Chai has flopped Haaland this week. Sorry, Kayman. Sorry, bro. If that happens, I'm gonna be laughing so hard. But yeah, me and Stock are bus teams on Saka. Both Chai and Kayman on Cunha punt. I like that. But yeah.
how can the Anyways, that's fine.
How can what?
No worries. How can the guests take a lead on me?
You've had 3 captaincy blanks in a row, man. The 2 caps blanks in a row.
Okay, but okay, whatever. It doesn't matter.
You've dropped a few points there, and I think, bro, look at the punt percentage. 45% of punts have hit. That's where the guests have really gained on us. We're all in 27%. So,
Okay.
let's see.
Okay.
We'll move to Chai's team. Up to 330k. I think, is it bench boost left, Chai?
Yeah, just a bench boost.
Nice. Team's looking quite good for this week. Any moves planned?
Yeah, so like I said, 1.3 million in the bank, 3 free transfers. I do have a nice bit of wiggle room. Again, fortunately, I don't have Gabriel. Again, Semenyo with the slight doubt, but I think he should be fine. Enzo, I'm also quite confident start that he's going to play. And the fixtures just falling my way. See, I love how the fixtures have fallen for my team because people want to get rid of Enzo and Pedro, and everyone has already sold Pedro. Burnley at home Burnley away for Chelsea, which is a phenomenal fixture, of course. All those stats you're saying about how poor Burnley have been. And as long as he gets the minutes, I'd be confident in Enzo and Pedro getting some sort of return in this. Now, again, I know particularly Pedro's looked off the ball. Enzo's looked great, but not got the returns. They're kind of flipping positions where, Enzo should have returns by now, but I'm confident going into Burnley, so no worries there. In terms of the back three, I've always spoke about how I think I have the best value defense in the game. When we speak about value again, 2 4.5s, and Jurrien Timber, who has just been doing the business again. Not quite had the attacking threat since I've brought him in, but I still feel like it's always there. And Tottenham is a good game at home. I'd be lying if it wasn't. Pope again, this particular game week, I'm not hopeful of. I do expect, even though Kayman is confident in Haaland, but I do expect City to score, and whether or not it's going to come through Haaland, who knows. Let's hope it doesn't for my own sake, but either way, you do expect City to have some chances. Pope is always good for the saves. Looks like Eddie Howe is not too worried with the concussion protocol. Nothing to worry about there. Elliot Anderson, Liverpool away, I feel like is a great game to play him. Considering DEFCON, you'd be very surprised if he doesn't get DEFCON. And Liverpool have been quite sloppy, to be honest. So it'll be interesting to see how this game plays out.
From set pieces as well. Set pieces.
Yeah, exactly.
It's good.
And they potentially have penalties. Again, Anderson did lace the last one, I might add. But yeah, so the move I'll be looking to make this particular game week is Eze up to Bruno or Eze to Kuna. Again, it really depends on what I want to do with the other assets in my team. I've also looked at, again, Kayman, you're not going to like this one, is Jerry and Timber to Van Dijk. Again, I just feel like Van Dijk could outscore the Arsenal assets in this spell of games, and I completely understand. If you think it's silly to do that move, again, I personally think in my heart that it is also silly, but something in my mind is kind of making me twitch towards that move. But other than that, I think I'm more than happy to roll the other two transfers if I'm not going to go down the route of Kuna.
Cool. Obviously it's peer pressure. Any pressure you guys want to put on Chai for a few transfers, Stocky? What do you think?
I just laugh at this team. I just find it funny because I had similar teams like this like a couple of weeks back, right before I wildcard in Gameweek 9, and I was cutting corners everywhere. I had Anderson as well. I know you guys talked about earlier. I didn't mention a single word about him because he's killed me. Like I've brought him in. He didn't hit DEFCON when I started him. He kept on going 11-11 3 weeks in a row. He broke my heart. So that's another one. It's just been a tragedy this season, and Salah has just bleeded me out. He blanked 3 weeks in a row. So when I look at this team, it's just nightmares. You remind me of my nightmares because I had like literally this replica team like a couple of weeks back. So I don't know how you're surviving. I wish you all the best. Tips, good luck. Literally, like because you're taking on a lot of assets. This team, this is the definition of take on everyone, every high EU asset you can think of.
Semenyo,
Like
Gabriel, Teta,
uh,
you name them, I don't have it.
Bruno and Bimo. I mean, Saka is gonna get up there in terms of EO. You're just taking on everyone. Like
I think this
it's
team
crazy.
is elite with one simple move of Eze to Bruno.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what
Like,
I'm looking towards as well. Like, it is for me. Bruno is a no-brainer. Again, I love Bruno in terms of an FPL asset. Again, not the biggest fan in terms of a player, but I always sing Bruno's prayers. And throughout seasons, he's been one. If I've not gone with Salah or Haaland captain, I've been happy enough to put the armband on him.
Yeah. 100%.
I think it's
it
very
makes a lot of
interesting.
sense. Go ahead, Son.
I think it's very interesting your strategy, because you've got Salah. It makes sense, but a lot of people say we should invest more into our defense, right? With regards to DEFCON now, but you actually have Rodon and Mukiele, and they're like the complete reverse of that theory of investing more, because you're investing less, but they're returning the same. They're getting 17 pointers. They've got DEFCON potential. They've got clean sheet potential and easy fixtures. So maybe that's one thing more people will jump on down the line: the Rodon and Mukiele rotation.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like again, I've been fortunate with the goals with both of those. I might add. Again, I can't predict that type of stuff. But again, in terms of DEFCON, all four there that you're looking at, Roden, Mukiele, Anderson, Richards, really, really good. The one that's let me down, of course, is Pope. But again, I feel like I have to hold on to him. It's not worth making a move to anyone, even Raya. Again, there's a big debate, and I don't know where you guys fall on that.
I wouldn't be buying him at 5.9. I mean, I guess it's a good segue into my team. I do have Raya. I had just scraped the green last week. Did roll the transfer. I've had Raya at 5.5. I think if you have Raya at 5.5, it's fine. Especially December. Like, you actually know you're going to get every single game, which I think is nice, but I wouldn't be buying him at 5.9. That's way too much. Like, it's just too much money to spend on a keeper. But apart from that, yeah, this is my team. I'm in a 4-4-2 at the moment. I'm looking to do my finally bring in my boy Minte for Paqueta, because I've been really loving what he's been doing this season. I think he's great value on corners. Brighton fixtures are there, and then Gabriel to Van Dijk or Munoz. There is a small chance I do something else. Maybe I go down to a Richards and then pump money into Paqueta, go to Cunha. Could also do that, but it just doesn't really suit me. I don't know. Thoughts, guys?
I don't know about Minte. I'm sorry. I'm not the biggest fan of Minte. And fixtures are decent. He looks good in the eye test, but I think there are better picks. Obviously, at that price bracket that you're looking at, 6 million. If I'm comparing a striker, I would have Thiago over Minte personally. So I know in terms of midfielders, I think he probably stands out, but yeah, I don't know. It's just something about Brighton. I'm not a big fan of their attackers. So sometimes you don't know what to expect. If there's any doubt or any injuries, you're not gonna get anything, and you might be left in the dark. So
Great point.
yeah.
Minte and Thiago. what is it, 0.3 million difference. Like, forget the position. We're all picking Thiago eyes closed off over Minte, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but Thiago will come in later for Mateta. So it's basically, you got to think Minte versus like the 6'5s like Saw and Sabozlai and these guys, like, because Thiago's gonna
Okay,
be
then in that case, I would even have Sobo ahead of Minter then, if you're comparing them.
nah, you're crazy, bro.
I'm not being
Yeah.
crazy. I'm being honest.
I'd take Sobo over Minte. Better attack, better
I'm not being
fixtures.
crazy.
Hmm.
How is that crazy, Benji? He's got some set pieces as well, no?
I quite like Minter.
Same argument.
I feel like, with the fixtures they have, again, Liverpool's fixtures look good, and maybe Szoboszlai will go into his demon arc after that loss versus Ireland. But for me, like, first off, I actually really like this team. You've got 6 penalty takers in your midfield and forward line, and 3 midfielders who are also great at DEFCON, who are also on penalties, which is, overall, these are going to be strong picks over a spell of games, I feel. I feel like, the move of Minta is also good because he's another one who seems to be getting DEFCON, the odd DEFCON and really good floor. But yeah, I don't mind the Minta move. Again, Minta or Thiago, I feel like they're both really good.
Yeah,
Really
I
good
wish
value.
bro, but it's just a lot of money to upgrade Kroopy, and
Yeah.
to sell Mateta. I look at it, I just, United, our defense is trash. I can't sell him before United. I won't do it. Like, and then he has Burnley next week. So then I just look at it like it's either I'm going to a front three or not. Otherwise, I just get Thiago later. I look at Minte. I'm like 50 points at 6 mil, and they've played just one promoted side. And he's started every single game. His minutes are there. Brighton's a good attack. We've always just been concerned about minutes, and he's taking corners. He passes the eye test. I think he's great, man. 6 mil. It's so cheap. So yeah, I'm interested in him. We'll go to Stark's team. Starky, talk to us.
Was 390k, and I went from 390k all the way to 1.6 mil in 2 game weeks. In a disaster. My plan was Porro to Van Dijk, but obviously I can't do that now. So Gabriel to a new defender. Probably Eze to Bruno next week, and then because Tottenham play Fulham in 13, so I could just back on the old Tottenham double defense. Unbelievable, man. But yeah, that's my team. I
He
like
loves
my
him.
team.
He loves Tottenham, man.
Yeah, I'm interested. Yeah, what, like, again, from my perspective, I love Tottenham as well. But how come you still have the double Spurs defense? Like, has that just fallen into place? Because I can understand it.
My team was a shit show, so I just don't have the free transfers to deal with them.
Okay, that makes sense.
And obviously they shooted me up to 300k when they went on those, the Porro and the Porro assist
Would be
clean
hard to
sheet.
sell, like.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
couldn't sell them. I probably won't ever sell Van de Ven at this rate, the way he's scoring goals. I got him at 4.5, so I don't think he's a bad asset to have as a rotation defender. I think your defense is fairly decent.
Yeah, I would say so too.
Yeah, definitely Eze to Bruno, and then in the coming weeks. And I've got a
Your attack
contingency
is
plan for
crazy,
Palmer.
to be fair. Like, this week your fixtures look really good. Like, double on.
I hope so.
You just need a huge Palace game, like 3 or 4 goals. But yeah. Anyways, we'll move to Kayman quickly, and then we'll go peer pressure team. We'll wrap it up. Kay,
This team is rubbish, bro. It's rubbish. I don't know what I'm doing. I've got a bunch of issues. Gabriel, James, Enzo. I know you guys are confident Enzo's starting. I don't know. Hopefully he does, because if he doesn't, I'm in a bit of trouble. I don't know why Thiago is benched on this. Thiago is 100% starting. I think James will be benched probably. I was actually on bench boost. Hopefully, I get some leaks on Chelsea because they are early kickoff. If I get leaks that both James and Enzo are playing, I'm probably going to bench boost, and I'll be selling Gabriel if.
What's the issue with this team? I'm confused. You said you've got a lot of issues. I'm only seeing Gabriel.
I've got James as an issue. Gabriel is an issue, and I've got Enzo Fernandez. I'm hoping he's not an issue, but yeah, same with Semenyo as well. I hope they're not issues, but they could become. And I'm trying to bench boost, so I need all my players available.
I think Reece James will play personally because he didn't play against Albania. Quansah played right back.
Hopefully.
So he's had a big rest, and the game was on Sunday anyway. So he's a week rest. I think Maresca stated quite clearly that Reece James is ready to play 3 games in a week. I know he then didn't, and
Yeah.
it's a contradiction. But I'd be surprised if Reece James and Enzo do not play Burnley. will be surprised. Reece James is fit, and in my opinion, Enzo is fit to play. It's just that they were smartly just a precaution. Why, you've already qualified for the World Cup, the international friendlies. If you want him fit for the World Cup, we want him fit for the December period. Just give him a 2-week rest. I think that's just all it is. I think he's fine.
Yeah.
Hopefully they both play because I'm on bench boost, and my only transfer I'm thinking is Gabriel out for either. I'm not gonna get Van Dijk. I don't have Palace defense, so I'm gonna prioritize them. It's between Munoz, Richard, or Gehi. I'm most likely leaning towards Gehi if he's available. I think the way they're playing, he is the target on the set pieces, and it's similar to what Gabriel was doing for Arsenal. Like he would lay it off to one of their midfielders or strikers for them to shoot. So he's got assist potential as well as he got Defcon as well. He can get Defcon. He's not as efficient as Richard or Lacroix, obviously, but still whenever he seems to get an attack and return, he combines that with Defcon. So
Yeah.
he is an interesting one. Munoz is the most sexiest one, of course, because of it is like the traditional classic FPL you'd want to watch. That
Yeah.
as they play football, rather than your Senessis and your Anderson or Richards just hoofing the ball, right? So from the entertainment value point, I may go with Munoz, but it's just on ripple effect. If I go with Richard, I can get Bruno for Enzo. I could go, for example, or I could go Cunha for Enzo. I could do a lot more. Like I could do good two or three moves.
Yeah.
But if I go for Munoz, I'm just restricted to just staying within the 6.4 million bracket midfielders. So it's a give and a take. It has a ripple effect on
Bro,
what I
I
do
would go
with
Richards
Gabriel money.
because I think the money's gonna be important. You get that FPL Chai juice, and Richards didn't start. I don't think he started either of the US games, so he's actually gotten a full 2 weeks rest, I believe.
There is there's a negative to Richards though that people are overlooking, and they've got a centre back called Canvot. I don't know if anyone watched the Palace game against Brighton.
I watched it.
He was phenomenal. Like that debut in the Prem was one of the best defensive performances I've ever seen from a debutant in the Prem. I thought he was phenomenal. He was man of the match, and he's gonna be competing with Richards. If Richards is competition, I'd be scared. Like I could see Canvot benching Richards one game in December.
But the issue is that the Richards takes long throws, so they needed him for long throws slightly. He takes a lot.
Lerma takes them.
Lerma takes
Midfielder.
as well.
Okay.
But yeah, something to keep in mind. I'm sure we'll see in Kayman's team selections. Just quickly, we've got the peer pressure team. Chai, if you don't know about this is basically a team that is part of our idea of the podcast. It's a joint team. Me, Kayman, and Stark, we all make decisions on it every week. We drafted it together at the very start, and the where you come in basically is you're granted a decision in the team. Now that can be it's a permanent move. It can be a captaincy change. It can be a transfer combo. You can use max 2 transfers together as a combo, and it can be vetoed. Your decision can be vetoed, and if it is, you get to pick something else that you would like to do. All 3 of us had 2 vetoes at the start of the season, and I'm down to 0, and I've talked to the boys, and they've allowed me to get my vetoes back if I give up 3 decisions. 3 spins, so my name won't be in the wheel. And basically, so if we come to the wheel spinner,
no, that's not how it is. That's not how it is.
So what do you mean?
Your name.
I didn't agree to this.
Your name's in the wheel, but if you win by getting spun, then you give up your decision.
Okay, I get it now. Okay, so I'll add my name then. Okay, let's see. Hold that, Kayman, bro. Hold that, bro. Okay, it's between me and Stark. You know what? I might actually, if this comes to me, I might not give it up. We'll take it. Okay, you know what? I'll give up the decision to Stark because I want my vetoes back. Actually, might need to reload this.
Vetoes back. You're gonna get 2. You're gonna get 2 vetoes back.
No, not 2. Just
if
one.
if I give it up, what is it? 3 times? 3 times.
He wins the spinner 3 times. He has to give up 3 of his decisions, and he'll get 1 veto back.
Sweet. Okay.
Okay, 1 veto back.
So
okay.
this is how our team's looking. Chai. We got a few issues. You get to make your decision takes priority. Stark has got another decision as well. Now you can change a captaincy. You can do whatever you'd like. We have 2 free transfers with. Let's just see how much we have in the bank here. With 1.8 mil in the bank, 2 frees, so we actually have a bit of wiggle room. Our defense is looking good. Maybe we'd look at midfielder move. I don't know what you guys are thinking.
What is a veto?
So basically, let's say that you want to sell Saka, right? Let's say, okay, my
Yeah.
decision is sell Saka. So the boys have vetoes. If they say no, I veto that. That means you can't do that, and Saka can't.
Oh, okay, sweet.
Yeah, that's a veto.
So
Basically.
I can't bring in Salah like.
No, you can if you want to. You can
No,
if you want, but it could
you're
be
not gonna
you. Anyways, I want you try. I want you to use up their vetoes as well. Because
Okay, so first let's go to the selection. Can I also say like, okay, Anderson needs to start, Senesi needs to be in the starting 11, so then I can picture the team properly.
yeah, sure.
Yeah, okay. So let's stick in
So we'll
Senesi.
we'll put Anderson in. So, who are we gonna bench here?
Gabriel.
Oh yeah, cool.
So that leaves us with 1.8 in the bank, and Caicedo needs to go, right? And Gabriel, double move.
Okay. Yeah, I'm down.
So-
I'm down to do that. And maybe Paqueta. Paqueta, maybe.
I personally would still get rid of Caicedo.
Really?
Yeah, I just think maybe it's a bit
Bro,
controversial.
go for Salah, bro. They'll get those vetoes gone, bro.
No. I don't want Salah. I want to get rid of Caicedo. How much
Okay.
money in the bank to get rid of Gabriel and drop Caicedo as well?
13.9.
Okay, so how slap in Bruno?
Oh, Kayman. Kayman.
Okay, Kayman don't like Bruno. And that leaves the 5 million, which is enough to get
Any
anyone,
guy,
really.
bro. Anyone.
Yeah.
You could punt on O'Reilly. It's up to you. Anyone
So what would
you
I
like.
do in this situation? I would 5 million. It's awkward, isn't it?
It is. Stock.
5 million is really awkward.
What's your thoughts, Saki? You gonna go
Oh,
captaincy
Chai.
stock?
It's Chai's decision, man. Listen. If it goes wrong, it's we're exposing him.
No, I would not listen to me, boys. Wait, hold on.
By the way, don't confirm the transfers until you hear any objections or not. Yeah, let's try
Oh,
cook first. See what he cooks up.
please.
All right, I would go Mateus Delict.
Yeah. It's okay. Now you're serious.
I'm being dead serious.
Oh my god.
Is he less than 5 million?
No, he's 5. I think he's 5 or 4.9.
Yago Benito.
Oh my god.
Jogger Benito.
Yo, Chai is hilarious.
Or like Jogger Vito.
Yago Benito.
Go on, Kayman.
It's up to Stock.
No,
So you're not gonna use any vetoes.
No, I'm not gonna veto Dillit. What do you want to use a veto, Kayman?
He's only got one left for the season.
I only have one veto left. I don't know what else I'm gonna use. I've already used all my vetoes in Bruno. Like I don't know what else I'm gonna
You
do.
get 3 back at the second half of the season, no?
That's what I'm
Nah,
saying.
I don't get anything
That's
back.
what I'm
I don't get
saying.
anything back.
Oh, because there's no reward for me holding on to my vetoes for these guys to just get them back. No, Ben, you suffer.
Okay.
Kayman lost.
I mean, I only got one left. Bro, United's got good fixtures, isn't it? What do you want me to say? I have no veto after this, so I gotta save this one.
All right.
So
I'm confirming those transfers. Then.
yeah.
What do we think, chat? Overall, okay, it's locked in, is it?
Yeah, we locked it in, bro. Okay, so now in terms of benching, what are you thinking? Ooh.
I can't believe we still got Walter Marder, man.
What, you think Walter is a problem?
Oh, he's decent, bro.
I think it's the week to jump off him, considering Vissa is probably getting close to coming back. Fixtures are drying up a bit. Thiago's coming on. Welbs is becoming an option. Even a Mark Gu. Like,
Well,
I just think
keep in mind, as long as Gordon's injured, he will be on pens. Right.
like he's not a problem, but money could be better spent elsewhere, in my opinion.
Yeah, maybe we go to Thiago next week, right?
Yeah.
We got another Spurs fan coming on next week, so
We got.
we got. I don't want to spoil it, so I want to
Okay.
spoil it for the viewers.
I think it's an above average guess though.
Yes, it is.
IQ.
Very good.
Stark, your decision is left. I'm assuming you're gonna want to use this on captaincy.
Yeah, I'm gonna captain Bruno Fernandes.
Osh! Let's go. And Vice?
Vice Petrovic.
Jesus. Okay, are we gonna try to get Delict into the team or
Yeah, I feel like it has to be between Volkswagen and NDI, which is hard because they're both on penalties and they both could get DEFCON, or NDI could get DEFCON. I don't know. I'm gonna leave it to you.
What do you guys think? Kayman?
What?
This is up to Kayman for sure.
Yeah.
What about the benching?
Delict, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not starting United defender. I'm not starting United defender. No way.
God, okay. I'm not.
Do you think Voltemada will get anything?
If Newcastle score, I
I
expect
think-
it to be him.
Yeah, I expect him to be involved. To be honest.
Also, I remember last year they gave away a stupid pen and Gordon put it away at St. James. So like, I kind of want to keep him in there. And Njai's on pens, bro. Look at this. This is a pen merchant team. Oh my god.
This is Benjy's team now. Well done, Chai.
Wait, this is his actual team.
No, it's not. It's not.
This is how it looks like.
Oh.
This is
No,
how it
it's
looks
not.
like.
It's not my
He's
team.
one of our good friends. His name is I don't want to use this word, but he's a good friend of ours on Spaces. He says Benjy is a condom FPL manager. So, and this is how his team looks like.
I mean, listen. Is it my fault? I
I'm
started
sorry,
with
I had to drop
Njai.
it.
I started with
drop
Njai
it.
from Gameweek
And this
1,
peer
bro. It's not my
pressure-
fault.
And somehow, somewhere, he used all his vetoes and turn this into his team. Congratulations, Benjy. If this finishes in the millions, just know why it is.
Bro, this is a very good team. This is a very good team. Like, I'm quite confident on it.
Yeah.
By the way, guys, we're gonna end very soon, so we'll probably take 1 or 2 questions before we head out. But we need to get Delict into the 11, no? Surely.
Oh,
No?
For who?
Okay, fine.
West-
Screw it, bro.
West Ham at home. Unless you want to play the home defenders and drop Richards.
No, you can't drop
like,
Richards. No.
Let's let Chai decide. Go on, Chai. Swap one player out for Delit because you brought him in.
Oh, that's tough, man. I feel like it has to be Anderson. Has to be Anderson. Can't bench in the eye or Volkswagen on penalties.
Yeah,
Yeah,
You
go on.
can't.
go on then.
You can't.
Go on. We got a good
Fulham
sub.
are sh-
Got a good first
Fulham
sub.
are shit, so I don't mind it.
Cool. I'm just gonna quickly read through to see if we have any questions, and then we are good to go. Let me just go back here. Let's see. Would you do in? People are saying main issue with Enzo, Barca, and Arsenal. Do you think Reece James will start at all? We've basically answered that. Thoughts on Mateta cap? Like we said, we don't trust him. I think that's basically it.
New manager bounce for Wolves, by the way. I don't think we mentioned that. So a lot of us have double and triple. I think Palace, right? So
Yeah.
maybe they pull something out of the hat and get a surprising result.
The last I guess I
highly
have
doubt, but
I guess I have one more question for Chai. Is I remember when you sold Haaland, you capped Son a few seasons back, and it went super well, got a hat trick. You've done a lot of differential plays, and I'm just wondering how important to you is that gut feeling, playing like through your gut feeling in FPL? Is that something that you really go for? Is it just, you got a hunch in the moment, or something that you plan long term to do these things?
Yeah, what's mad is like that a lot of those moves get seen as gut feeling, but at the time I think it was game week 4. Spurs were quite poor, and I think Kane got injured, and I am big in the Spurs. My brother would be quite involved in the Spurs community, right? But like I am as well, but him more so than me, like. And he said that there's a high chance that Son's gonna be on penalties, and we played Burnley at home. And I thought we were always going to be a team that could score goals. So for me, I never foresaw a hat-trick, but I had no one else captain with no Haaland. So I feel like, yes, gut feeling is always there, but there's always some sort of, thinking in my mind, if it's not necessarily always the gut. I feel like most opportunities for captaincy come in the good fixtures for good players. Son, of course, historically phenomenal player. Bruno, we know these are guys that we can hang our hats on when it comes to it. And it's about finding that player before he gets into that form. And for me, this week is Salah.
Cool. We wish you the best of luck. Thank you guys for watching. It's been a great pod. Thank you, Chai, for coming on. Make sure you subscribe to him. I saw he dropped his team selection on his YouTube. Make sure you check that out. Go check out Kayman as well. He'll have his team selection out. Go follow Sock on Twitter. And we'll speak to you guys in the next one.